to make Roblox games, eventually you're going to have to learn how to script. Whether you want to write everything yourself or use AI to help generate scripts, you still need to understand the basics. So in this video, I'm going to introduce you to scripting on Roblox in a way that's actually easy to understand without making everything sound too complicated. So enough yapping, let's jump into Roblox Studio. To keep things simple, we're going to build something that introduces a lot of the basics you'll use over and over again. By the end of this video, we'll have a part that changes colour and plays a sound whenever somebody stands on it. It might seem simple, but almost everything you learn in this video can be used to build much bigger and more complicated systems later on. So we'll start by adding a part and then add a sound object inside of the part, naming it sound. Since the script is only going to control this part, it makes sense to keep it inside of the part itself. Now, when we go to add a script, you'll notice Roblox gives us 3 different script types. A normal script runs on the server and is used for most gameplay systems, things like round systems, opening doors, or rewarding players coins. A module script is used for storing code that other scripts can share. So if your game had a currency system, instead of writing the same code every time a player earned coins, you could put it all in a module script and have every script use the exact same code. We'll cover those properly in a later video. A local script only runs for one player. You'll use these for things like UI, camera effects, and other player-specific interactions. You'll learn more about those later in the series, but for this video we're going to keep things simple and just use a normal script. Before we carry on, I want to quickly thank today's sponsor for making this video possible, Forge GUI. Forge GUI is an AI design tool built for game developers, and honestly, it's one of the easiest ways to make your game look more professional. It can generate UI, icons, thumbnails, and now even 3D models. Instead of spending months learning Photoshop or Blender, or paying for artists you can't afford, you can just describe what you want and Forge GUI will generate results in seconds. So if you've got an inventory system but no icons, or you've scripted a shop but you don't know how to make it look good, Forge GUI can help with that. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the comments and description. Thanks again Forge GUI for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to scripting. Now, you'll notice Roblox has already written some code for us. We don't actually need it, so you can just highlight and delete it. The first thing we do need is a way of referring to this part inside of our script. To do that, we're going to create something called a variable. If you've never heard that word before, don't worry. A variable is just a way of storing something so we can use it in the script later on. In our case, we want to reference this part, so we'll write local part equals script.parent. The word local just means this variable only exists inside of this script. Part is simply the name of the variable. We could call it anything, but part makes more sense because, well, it's a part. And finally, we've got script.parent. If you remember how we put the script inside of the part, well, script.parent is Roblox's way of saying, give me the object this script is inside of. Now we've got a reference to the part, we'll do the same thing for the sound. We'll write local sound equals part.sound. This works exactly the same way as before. We already had a reference to the part, and because this sound is inside of the part, we can simply access it by writing part.sound. Now let's make the part actually do something. We're going to use something called a touched event. An event is just Roblox's way of saying, when this happens, run this code. In our case, we want the code to run whenever something touches the part. So to do this, we'll write part.touched : connect, then in brackets function, and in brackets again hit. I know that probably looks like a lot, but let's break it down. Part is just the variable we created earlier. Touched is the event that we're listening for, and everything in between function and the end at the bottom will only run whenever something touches the part. The word hit is another variable, but this time Roblox creates it for us. It's simply whatever touched the part. Now the problem is, we don't just want anything to activate this. If another part fell onto it, it'd still work, which isn't what we want. So first we'll write local character equals hit.parent. If you remember when we used script.parent earlier, this works the exact same way. Whatever touched the part becomes hit, and by getting its parent, we get the whole character that body part belongs to. Next, we'll write local humanoid equals character : find first child brackets humanoid. This line looks a bit scary, but it's actually doing something really simple. It's checking that the character has something inside it called a humanoid. Every Roblox player has one, but things like normal parts don't. So if a player touched the part, we'll find the humanoid, and if we don't, Roblox will simply move on without doing anything. Next, we'll write if humanoid then. Now this is an if statement. It's basically asking a question. If we find a humanoid, then run everything underneath. The first thing we need to do is stop the part being touched straight away. So we'll write part.canTouch equals false. This just prevents the script from running over and over while the player is standing on the part. And now we can actually change the color. To do this, write part.color equals color 3 dot from RGB. Then inside the brackets you've got 3 numbers to change. These 3 numbers just represent red, green and blue. So in this case we're using full green. Next we need to play our sound. So to do this we'll write sound :play brackets. Because we've saved the sound earlier in a variable, all we have to do is tell it to play. Now we want to wait for 2 seconds by writing task.wait and inside the brackets just a number 2. This pauses a script before the next line runs. And now we just want to change the part back to its original colour. To do this, use the same line that you used to change the part's colour originally, but just change the values inside the brackets. And then again, part.canTouch equals true. Now if we press play and stand on the part, it changes colour, plays the sound, and then waits 2 seconds before it resets itself for the next player. And that's it, you've just written your first ever Roblox script. Now before you click off, I want you to try changing a few things. Try changing the colour to blue instead of green, or change the wait time and make it reset faster, or maybe even try making it disappear completely. The best way to learn scripting isn't by watching me do it, it's by experimenting and seeing what happens. In the next video, we're going to take everything you've just learned today and use it to build the first part of a Roblox hobby. So if you've enjoyed this one, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it.